So next, we have to go to the major updates on this Celeste Hernandez murder case. I feel like certain people have it out for David. We all agree that this man is a PDF file. I don't think there's any questions about that. We all agree on that. But whether or not David murdered this young girl named Celeste Rivas Hernandez is another question, right? Right now, certain media outlets, based on information that they are being given access to, they are saying that it looks like Celeste Rivas Hernandez died from an overdose, a drug overdose. They're waiting on the toxicology report to come back. I don't really know if when you're a minor, cause of death stuff is sealed and then it's released based on the, after the family gives permission. But from what I've seen on a couple of news outlets, they are saying that things are pointing at, it's looking like this girl may have died from an overdose. There is a private investigator who is calling into question this narrative, saying that it looks like the car had been driven off road and all this stuff. But an ex-boyfriend of Celeste Rivas came out and was saying that she had a troubled home life, right? There's just a bunch of new developments coming out with this, and it's calling a lot of question on the initial beliefs. Everybody was so sure that David, killed this girl. I think it started to kind of become a witch hunt, right? All these people knew about this relationship that they had. Nobody said anything. Now that she's dead, oh, bro's a PDF file, and he killed her, and he put her in his trunk. This is what they're saying. But I was the person a long time ago on No Jumper when it first broke. I said this girl probably died from a drug overdose. I was not quick to say, oh, this is a murder. Someone murdered this girl. This girl was someone who repeatedly ran away from home. She did hang out with David and did go to LA with him quite often. But is this foul play? So a lot of people are wondering why this boy David hasn't been arrested. Well, the reason why David has not been arrested is because the cause of death has not been confirmed. No one knows how she died. So everyone's like, yo, bro murdered her. Da, 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 da. How do you even know she was murdered when the coroners haven't come back with a cause of death? That's why the police cannot arrest him. In LA County, they do not arrest anyone for homicide until cause of death has been determined. And they have not determined her cause of death, so no one can be arrested for causing her death, right? Does that make sense? So in case you were wondering, in case you one of these hopped up people, why haven't they arrested this guy? I've literally seen this all over Instagram. Why is this dude not in jail? It's something about people. They love a good witch hunt. They don't care about innocence or guilt. They just care about somebody being punished. And I really wish we would get away from that, because that leads to people's rights being violated. It's so crazy, and I'm going to bring back the immigration stuff again. It's so crazy that Hispanic people, when it's an illegal criminal alien migrant, oh, due process, due process, due process. But when it's a black man who possibly could have killed a young Hispanic girl, fuck due process, lock that nigga up. I can't be the only one who sees that. I can't be the only one noticing this. We got a lot of immaturity in this country that needs to be addressed. We got a lot of selective politicking and arbitrary reasoning that needs to be addressed. When it's David, now, if you lock this dude up for being a PDF file, go right ahead, because he's definitely that. But it's going to be very hard to prove that there was intercourse involved in this relationship with this girl being deceased. But I'm just saying, the same people screaming due process for Tio and Tia, they don't want no due process for this guy. You can't have it both ways. You can't be like, one person get due process because I like him, don't even know him, but I like him, and I want him to get due process. But then the next person gets no due process. That is crazy to me. But this is the world we live in. That's why people with a level head are so valuable. People who sit back and say, wait a minute, I'm not just going to jump off the ledge based on my own moral compass, just based on emotion. I want to see what the facts are. And that's what I was saying on No Jumper that day. And people attacked me. Wait, guys, we don't even know how this girl died yet. But they wanted me to jump off the cliff, and I'm never going to do that. Let's play this.
Well, Laura, it was last month that gruesome discovery was made at this tow yard. Now we're hearing from a private investigator on what might have happened in the days leading up to that moment. Our first look at where R&B singer David's black Tesla was towed from only days before Celeste Hernandez's body was found decomposed in the car's trunk.
The car almost looks like it's been off-road out in the desert or something. It's the wheel, wells are all beat up. There's a huge dent in the back.
Private investigator Steve Fisher obtained these images of the black Tesla from where it was towed and impounded from in Hollywood Hills, covered in dust.
Said a family member had contact with Celeste by text, and that was sometime in early July. It's tragic to think that she was sitting in the front of that Tesla decomposing that whole time. But
according to Fisher, the initial call made for the abandoned car came in August 26th.
I'm telling you right now, that guy said that the dust on the car looked like it had been off-road. That's a lie. If you live in LA, you know that is the dust that gets on your car when you live in areas where there's a lot of moisture in the air in the morning, and then it dries out later on. I live near the beach. Leave your car out for 3 days, it's going to be covered in that. That is just from dirt traveling in the air, wind, and moisture in the morning, wetting your car. Then that dirt blows in the air, gets on your car. And if you're not moving the car gets covered with that light, dusty film. That's not no off-road dirt. Like, this guy's a private investigator, so he wants to be relevant. So he's going to say whatever. That car looks like it got backed up into something, which makes sense if there was a 50-year-old probably driving it around, would not question the idea that maybe when David was gone, bro was tossing her the keys and she was rolling around Lake Elsinore in bro whip. Happens all the time. I've seen it a million times. That don't look like no off-road driving. And if you're off-road, why is the back dented? I'm off-road. If you're off-road, what is there to back up into? Come on. This guy's just, I don't like this guy. He's being very disingenuous.
Police inspected and ticketed it the 27th, cited it again September 3rd before it was towed on the 5th. 3 days later, workers at Hollywood Tow smelled an unusual odor and discovered Hernandez's body in the car's trunk.
I mean, what do you think might have happened?
it could have been an overdose, and they panicked and hid her body, or because they probably didn't want to expose the relation. They're worried about exposing the relationship between him and a minor. And
now, if you've been following me, is this not exactly what I said initially? I said it probably was an overdose and they tried to hide her body. I said this when I first heard about this case. I said, I don't think he killed her. This was probably an overdose and they tried to hide the body. Young girl doing drugs. No adult wants to be liable for this girl dying because they supplied her with dope or whatever. But nowadays, these kids get drugs like nothing. But I said this, and I am confident that that is what's going to end up being the outcome of her death, like the cause of her death. But everyone wants a witch hunt. They're not like Zarth. They don't just want the truth. They want a witch hunt. They want to see somebody get strung up. And me, I'm just not that guy. You know what I mean?
And as unbelievable as it sounds, concealment of a body is a misdemeanor in California.
According to Fisher, the gruesome discovery was made the day before Hernandez's 15th birthday. The young teen reportedly in a relationship with the 20-year-old David for the last year or so. The singer has since canceled his tour, while LAPD says the girl's cause of death hasn't been determined. Adding as such, it remains unclear whether there is any criminal culpability beyond the concealment of her body.
And I understand that any criminal defense attorney is going to tell David, don't say a word. But here's a guy that had a relationship with this girl, as wrong as that was. I'm really baffled that he hasn't at least come out and acknowledged or said her name or sent condolences.
And tonight, the investigation continues. So far, police have not named any suspects or persons of interest in this case. We're live in Hollywood. Matthew Seedorf, Fox 11 News.
Okay, so there's your update. This girl is looking like the cause of death was overdose. It's looking like that. That has not been confirmed. But what is the concealing a dead body is only a misdemeanor in the state of California. So no one's doing any jail time for this. Now, was David involved in a relationship with her? Looks like he was. But here's the thing. There's no law against being in a romantic relationship with a minor. There is a law against being in a sexual relationship with a minor. And how are you going to prove that after this body has been dismembered, right? And because I think they said they cut some arms and legs off. So even if you want to do DNA, you would need the lower region available. And we don't know if the lower region is available. So I'm thinking David is going to get extremely lucky. But one thing I know about pedophiles, they don't stop at just one. They have a sickness and they continue to do it. So if he does indeed get off, I'm sure this will not be the last we're hearing from old David. And guess what else? Usually there's more than one victim when it comes to the PDF files. So I wouldn't be surprised if more underage girls don't come out and holler David's name. David, he touched me, and all this stuff, right? Mr. E, black folks do everything under the sun. Believe it or not, and I'm not even saying he chopped up her body, but I know black folks do everything under the sun. Don't put nothing past us.